What's good? What's good? What's good? Tell me something good, family, family, family. This is Raw Truth Media. Y'all know the intro, giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. First of all, shout out to the new channel members. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for being about your word and supporting brothers and sisters, brothers like me who speak truth, who love our people. And when I do YouTube, this is fun. And you know what's fun? Winning. Jackson State did that. Jackson State defeated Campbell 22-14. Now, before you shine, come up in here and talk about, oh, Campbell's not all that. Oh, Campbell. I don't want to hear a goddamn thing. You shines was saying that, oh, Jackson State may lose this game. Now, I don't need anyone lying to me right now. That's what I heard. Y'all said that this could be a slip-up game. Don't you lie to me right now. And I'm talking about the Shines who was talking trash about JSU this whole time on social media. Y'all know who y'all are. Now that Jackson State has won, y'all want a goalpost move. I'm not allowing any goalpost moves. Campbell has a good team. They have talent. They're very young. In the future, they're going to be something. Yeah, we're going to definitely talk about that. ESPN, you failed everybody today. That was a horrible stream and ruined a good opportunity. Ruined a damn good opportunity. But let me give some shout outs right now. Shout out to Hoop Jargon. Shout out to channel member. Freak Night for You. He said should have been 43-14. Red zone offense. Yeah, the red zone offense was poor. I got to be honest. Shout out to the defense. The defense has been the most consistent unit, and I've been saying this for a while. Now, that last touchdown, that's what you call a fatigue touchdown. Let's be honest, the JSU defense has been on the field all day. And that's what happens when you don't finish drives. That's what happens when you have penalties and unwanted turnovers here and there. But there's an interesting stat. And I'm not surprised because the running backs for Jackson State were as good as advertised again. Y'all want to know how many yards per carry the running backs have been rushing in this game? So an average of 5 yards per carry. Savion Wilkinson had 4.8 yards per carry, and J.D. Martin with 5.1 yards per carry. Savion Wilkinson in 24 carries had 116 yards. Now, what have I said about this Jackson State offense? I don't care how they get their yards. I don't care how they get their points. If you got a good defense, run the ball if you have to. They could have gave the ball to – I've talked to a homie on DMs. We was talking about it. If they would have gave Savion the ball 40 times, I wouldn't even trip. They weren't stopping it. Yeah, the play calling, Maddox says play calling was too predictable. They better tighten it up on the offensive side of the ball. That said, they tried to force the ball to Travis too much. Why isn't Malachi? Yeah, I wish Malachi was playing too, but it is what it is. AP says Campbell's quarterback is the best athlete that JSU defense will face all year. Yeah, he's the real deal. That Haj Malik Williams, Houdini out there. Man, I got my brother on the line. Hoop Jargon, what's good, my brother?
Let me get right back in, DJ. Give me one moment.
All right. Also, shout out to channel member Ant Learn, man. Coach. a brother that speaks his mind, a brother I respect so much. He said, salute to you, my brother. Yeah, that JSU defense, man, you know a defense is great where you're entertained with just watching them. Like, when the defense of Jackson State is out there, tell me I ain't lying. When they're out there, I am calm. When I watch the defense play, I'm very relaxed because I know they're either going to force turnovers, they're going to do a lot of tackles for loss, and they're going to wreck shop. Shout out to the defense for holding it down. Was good, EJ Love. Was good, Terry Harris and the Big South refs. Yeah, they were terrible. Giving them some of them home cooking calls. Aubrey Miller looked like Ray Lewis. Thomas Lindsay was good, my brother. Yeah, Aubrey Miller looks like NFL to me. The Heisman Trophy was in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm glad that it was there so the fans can see it, man. Shout out to the citizens of Jackson, Mississippi. Good people right there. Deputy Mario, what's good, my brother, man? Man, I'm trying to get to the Southern game, man. I'm trying to make that happen. Every time I'm in Jackson, man, Deputy Mario looks out for a brother, man. He said, "What's up, Raw?" Man. No, but let's get it to the nitty-gritty, man. Where are all the people who said this? Now, family, tell me if I'm telling the truth or not. Y'all could be real with me. Didn't we not hear people say, "Oh, this game could be this game could be a loss." And then you had some folks who say they love HBCUs, root for Campbell. Now, I'm going to be honest. After this game, I will be rooting for Campbell in a lot of games. I like how that team is, just not against HBCUs. See, I stand on principle. That's how I was raised. And I see some people, they just, it's that player hater syndrome. And that's why we don't go anywhere. We got too many crab in the barrel mentality people, man. We should be celebrating, man. FCS HBCU defeated a team that's above 500, a team that's rising, a team that has a top-notch recruiting class, a team that could win their conference. When the last time the SWAC has beaten a team like that, a team that could win their conference in the FCS? Don't worry, I'll wait.
All right, DJ, I'm back.
What's good, hoop jargon, man? You know how to preach the gospel today.
Hey, man.
Yeah, you know how to do that.
I'm rocking with it.
Brother, tell me what you think about this game and your thoughts on Campbell.
Yeah, man. So this is the second game I got to stream from front to back. So I watched every. You know, I work on Saturdays. And I literally had a customer come in right now, and it broke me up. But at any rate, man, I thought that Jackson set the tone early with their defense, man. And a lot of people in the chat, as it was going on, they was like, "Oh man, they missing the quarterback." And the brother, what's his name, Haji Williams,
Malik Hodge Williams.
Hodge Williams, yeah.
Williams.
Yeah. I'll give him a lot of props, man. He did a good job of avoiding that rush and looking upfield and making stuff happen. But what I was saying is that's not sustainable, man. So when I was, I think Campbell went up 7-3. And I was like, if I'm the defensive coordinator, I like what I see. Because if that's what the best they can do is run those little, those Deshaun Watson style plays, I'm like, there's no way they keep that up all game. So, I'll kind of give my opinion in small verse. But yeah, initially, I thought Jackson came out really good defensively. That's for damn sure.
Exactly. And one thing I could say about the Jackson State offense, man, that running game was good, man. A total of yards per carry. Man, they should have kept running the ball. Now, I'm not a coach. I know people go, you know how people go in these comment sections and say, well, you're not I get that. I respect all the coaches. I'm just saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They couldn't stop Wilkerson.
Bro. The other dude was getting off too though early. The other
Yeah,
guy was getting
Dave
off.
Martin was getting.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, they knew like Campbell was sitting on those passes. It's a psychological thing, right? If I'm playing a team that they got interest in the Heisman, right? You got
Yep.
ESPN there, you got the Heisman Trophy there. The defense already knows you're going to be trying to pass.
And you put Travis Hunter out there, so obviously you're going to him.
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's not hard to figure out.
When that pick happened, I knew that was coming. I said, man, they're looking at what they know what's going to happen.
I've never seen a team throw 2 fades in a row in a long time, bro.
I'll tell you, like Yogi said, Wilkerson and him, man. This defense.
Absolutely.
I'm telling y'all what's really real. This defense is so elite. I don't give a damn what this offense does, as long as they move the ball. So if they move the ball, if they run the ball 45 times, I would not complain. If they pass the ball and no one is stopping it, and they throw it for 50 times, do it. But if people just sitting in passes and you got these running lanes, run the damn ball. I'm telling you right now, if they focused on the run in this game, and this is nothing against Campbell, Jackson State would have had about 35 points from what I saw.
And DJ, especially in the red zone, man. Like, I don't know what happened in the red zone. Like, they need to come up with some type of tight end dump package or something.
Oh, man, that would have been good.
Lord have mercy. And I got to give Shedeur a little slander. I mean, not a little slander, a little critique. Mm-hmm. Shedeur,
wait.
Go ahead.
Hey, who? Before you go in.
Go ahead.
I had to let everybody know. This is Warm Take Walter. He loves everything about Jackson State. He has respect for him, but he doesn't sugarcoat. I'm just letting y'all know. I had to let them know who.
Hey, man. Listen, man, I'm a SWAC guy. I played basketball at Prairie View, man. Like, I'm SWAC all the way through. So I'm not here to demean HBCU at all. This is like literally in my veins as of 17 years going on. But no, Shedeur missed a good little check down in the flat. I think it was Wilkerson on that when he tried to go for the end zone. It was the first time that they didn't convert. If he would have just checked down and threw to his running back, man, on the left side of the field, it was wide the hell open. Now, I understand. You know what I'm talking about? You remember what player I'm referring to?
Oh, yeah, man. That took it to the house.
That was a big momentum shift that was missed out on. Now, luckily, Jackson recovered, and they got 3 points out of it. But against a better team, that's a very costly miss that you just got to see, man. You got to see because that's your safety valve, and you got to always respect that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Again, the teams that play against Jackson State, and that's why I like what we're talking about. And shout out to Between the Game Sports, man. Subscribe to his channel. Good brother, great content. Like you said, old school tight end dump. That will work. Because when you play Jackson State, what do you think about?
The outside, right? The run game.
Outside, the favorite receivers. And again, in this game, they knew Travis was coming back. And speaking of Travis Hunter, man, he's a shutdown defender, man. He's
absolutely.
I mean, Travis Hunter. If you don't think Travis Hunter is a first round pick, I don't know what to tell you. Shut down defender, man. But this team knew what they was about to do. And all I want to see next year, don't try to worry about looking flashy and stuff. Move the chains. Again, most coaches who have great defenses, they tell their teams, hey, I don't need you doing everything. Take what they give you. We got a great defense and play field position.
Agreed. And that's what it looked like early, man. It was a field position battle, man. And Campbell came out aggressive early, which was very surprising, going on 4th down in their own territory. I don't know what that was all about. But then turned to a punt game. And then now let's talk about this. Campbell made some costly turnovers. Costly penalties. And that was, I believe, the 3rd quarter when they had great field position and then put them back they had 2 penalties in a row and to put them
Right.
out of position. So, man, discipline. So everybody talk about the SWAC not being disciplined. Like, now a lot of teams suffer with that too, man. So I'm glad Jackson was able to capitalize off that because they, when the game was still volatile, I think it was a 6-7. Campbell just they squandered a hell of an opportunity after a hell of a punt. Jackson couldn't convert. We punted back, and it wasn't a great punt, but Campbell just couldn't get the wheels rolling, man. That was very interesting to see.
And before we go on, man, hit the like button, share this video if you haven't, man. We got Hoop Jargon in the building, man. Subscribe to his channel, man. Throughout this YouTube stuff, man. One thing I can say, man, he's been consistent. That's why we like brothers, man. We both from H-Town. And the one thing about Hoop Jargon, he's one of the few people I know. He never switch up what he says. He gonna stand on principle, and that's why I rock with people like Hoop Jargon, man. Hoop.
Yep.
What do you what do you think? What do you think about people who rooted against Jackson State before this game, and now the goalposts moving and saying, "Oh, Campbell's not all that." Campbell clearly has talent. They're bigger than anybody in the SWAC, anybody in HBCU. They're faster than anybody in the SWAC and HBCU. Instead of giving them respect, they're doing the same old playbook of devaluing a really talented team, a team that could win their conference. And when is the last time a SWAC team or HBCU, the matter of fact, beat a team that can win their conference?
Listen, man, I love it because on my stream, I had to check somebody saying that Travis Hunter was a bust. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? I saw somebody in the chat. They mentioned that it's his first game back after a month off. Like, so, and my whole thing is on my stream, I try to educate folks because to your point, why people root against them, it's because some people just don't have a context of things. So it's just like, I hate to use the word crab in a barrel because, I think it's overused. But at the same time, it's like you see a team that's really good and you may like, say you like Florida State or you like your team in the SWAC. You don't want to see Jackson be that good. So you're going to come in and you're going to try to tear down any little caveat you can so you can sound right. So in this sense, coming in the game, I understand Jackson was 17-point favorite. But I said, pregame, I'm like, it's still a solid team coached by a brother who is a solid coach. They were 4-2 before this, and they had some solid wins. But again, with the goalpost moving, it's because you got to latch on to something. If you decide that you don't like Coach Prime, some people call him a grifter, some people call him, too cocky. Whatever your beef with him is, you're gonna find a way to keep being right in your mind. So that's why you see people keep moving the goalposts because you got to have a new thing for you to hate on or dislike, and that's just how it goes.
Yeah. For those who saying that about Travis Hunter don't know football, Travis Hunter was that shutdown DB today, and he looks the part. And this is what he looks like being off of football for a long time. Look out. But again, like Trucker D says, no one in the SWAC could even compete with Campbell. No one in HBCUs can compete with Campbell. Let's keep it real now.
Perhaps.
Is there one team besides Jackson State that can keep it close with Campbell? Be honest.
Maybe
North
a
Carolina
Southern.
Central was the number 2 ranked HBCU team.
Yeah, they beat the stuffing out of them. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, DJ, let me say this. How can the average person, do they know how to look at a cornerback and say a cornerback played a good game if they didn't get an interception?
Right.
So this is what we're working with. So, I mean, it is what it is, man.
K. Lofton said maybe Southern. Southern. I don't see it from Southern. No, South Carolina State. They lost they lost to FAMU, right? No. And I got respect for FAMU, but FAMU shut that offense down. Thomas, you still there, Hoop Jargon?
No, I'm here.
Dog, man, that ESPN production was pointed out, that was terrible, man.
Terrible, like Charles Barkley say.
Hey, Chris Turner, we're talking about all HBCUs, not just SWAC. I don't think any HBCU team, I know they're in the MEAC, no HBCU team can beat Campbell besides Jackson State. Yeah, that's a bad matchup, man.
I mean, I'm gonna put a maybe on that, but I know Jackson is the cream of the crop. I mean, you just fooling yourself if you think anything other than that. So
Terry Harris said, I'm sick of hearing about South Carolina State. Well, and South Carolina State, what I realized about them, after the Celebration Bowl, they made up their own truths. They said, well, we won against Jackson State because we played a tougher schedule, but they lost to FAMU last year and other SWAC schools. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
And they said, that's why we're just better than the SWAC. I mean, again, the truth is they won a Celebration Bowl because Jackson State played like a team that didn't prepare. They would have lost to they would have lost to Southern last year the way they played the Celebration Bowl. Can we stop the bullshit?
Yep. Coach Brown said it too, man. They played like they weren't prepared.
Right.
Coach had those boys ready, and they hit them in the mouth. And you know what? One thing I said in Between the Game Sports can attest to this. They came in the game with that bunker mentality. And what I mean by that is before that game, Coach left his kids on the bus. So all that ballyhoo and all that Jackson State excitement they had, he shielded his kids for all that. He left them on the bus, getting their minds right. So when it was time to go out, it was time to put your clothes on, time to get on the field, stretch, and get ready. Not all that extra stuff that they didn't buy into that. And they came in and the game showed, you know, that mentality. So, I mean, it doesn't happen every time like that. But, again, I played the SWAC. I coached in the SWAC. I seen it work like that. And it's just, it is what it is.
And before I go on, man, shout out to the Jacktown Jews, JU. Y'all know who y'all are, man. They in here. They support this channel. They support Hoop Jargon, Between the Game Sports, and many more. Tomorrow Leader, Sports Leaders, definitely Ken Clark. And speaking of Ken Clark, if you're a Jackson State alum or fan, you should be proud of Ken Clark as well as the Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club. Did you see that video on 24/7 Sports?
Nah, I missed it.
Yeah, but Ken Clark, man, he represents that university well. I hope that brother gets the most subs and views around. He deserves it. A good brother. When I was in Jackson State, showed me around the whole city, showed me around the facility of Jackson, how they operate, and just one of the most genuine people I've encountered on YouTube. Besides you, of course. You don't see that around.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I've only linked with a handful of YouTubers outside of, Between the Game Sports. We've been friends since forever, since we were 8 years old. But you, Fahara, Ballfax, and that's pretty much about it. But I mean, it is what it is, man. It's a lot of craziness amongst the foe that is YouTubians. Shout out to Umar Johnson.
But yeah, man, it's let me see. Eric said we won, and the call-in coach is always on call. Man, them haters are so mad that they hate on seeing Rick Ross in Deputy Mario said Alabama A&M quarterback Quincy Casey was at the Jackson State game today watching. Interesting.
Hey, that's a show. That's the only game to watch this weekend. And my Panthers are dusting off Lamar, which is a good win for the conference.
But this out of conference win too. Shout out to Prairie View A&M.
Oh yeah, but this was the game to watch this week. I mean, I'm just for the bean. Oh, I gotta give TSU some credit too, man. With that, I think they beat Alcorn.
Yeah, Andrew Body is the truth, man.
Yeah,
Andrew Body, bro.
It took him a minute to get going.
Andrew Body has no offensive line. He running for his life, man. He making plays happen out of nothing, man. You gotta respect that. Bro, I want to ask you something about Brett Bartolone, man. So far, he's done a lot better than what the offense was last year. We give him that.
Mm-hmm.
Them Reds, what's the problem with the red zone? You think they're just trying to, stats? Let's keep it real. Like, try to add on stats, trying to get awards, or you think that's getting in the way of offensive efficiency? Sometimes they could just do the simple thing like running the ball exotically, using their tight ends more. I mean, they got the athletes to have an effective red zone offense. What you think about that?
I think a few things can be true, man. Because obviously they're trying to promote Shadua, which I have no problem with.
Right.
Steve McNair, as we know, famously was number 3 in the Heisman his senior year. I believe that was 1992, 93. Y'all can correct me in the chat. I have no problem with that. But at the same time, you got a ball game to win. And I think that a little less of Shadua showcase may be a little better. And then by that, I mean putting that ball in the center and run that thing up the gut like what's been working all year long. You finally got a run game. Like, dude, like, why are y'all so afraid to use it in the red zone? Like, come on. Or if you're going to do that, do some play fake again. Tight end dump, man. Like, stop trying to get these back shoulder throws. Like, they're not working. These fades, like, you're going to it too often. It's predictable. So that's my only thing about getting a little too cute with that.
Yeah, man. Again, I don't mind. I don't mind Shadua try to get them numbers, man, to get the awards. I really don't. And I'm rooting for the brother. But sometimes simplicity is the best reward. When you keep things simple, you'd be surprised and amazed how much you execute. I mean, again, if Jackson State only ran, that's a good stat. If Jackson State ran 40 plus times, that doubles the touchdown percent. I'm talking about in this game. Every game is different. But in this game, if they ran 40 times, you look at the analytics, there's double touchdowns. I'm sure there's going to be less penalties. Again, Campbell was just playing like, hey, ESPN's here. Travis came back. They're going to throw the ball. They just sitting on passing lanes. Am I seeing something different, brother? Is that what do you think about that?
No, I think Jackson State serves a lot of masters. And by that, I mean, you want to win the game, but you're also trying to promote Shadua. So, yeah, you're going to have a little things amiss as far as game strategy. I think the sentiment of the chat is going to mirror that. And your job is to have a healthy balance of that stuff because I'm not mad at them promoting Shadua. I think it's a great idea.
Me too.
I think it's a great idea. However, as you know, fans of good football, it is rather frustrating to watch them force that pass when it's obvious that you need to have a little more. Well, I'm sorry, forcing that pass to the outside when you can have so many variations outside of that because that team is just so deep. And the O-line, you can't blame the O-line this year. The O-line's doing their part.
No, not at all.
They doing their part this year. Even when Shadua has pressure, he has time to, he has that little Tony Romo move now where he spins out of it and he still has his eyes upfield. So we can't blame, the problems of last year, this year. So, I think a little bit more of just keeping it simple, like you said. KIS says, man, keep it simple, stupid. That it sounds simple, but that may be more better serving the staff as we go forward.
And Jacktown 785 is spot on. Remember against FAMU, that was the best red zone performance Jackson State had ever. And the tight ends were used more.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
They got 6'5", 6'6" tight ends. They got a couple of them that ran 4.5s. They run like receivers. They could jump out the gym.
Agreed.
Man. Hey, to all the people who played football, that played with great defenses, right? And your coach will tell you, and they tell the offense, well, I'm just here to tell you, we ain't about to be using too many receivers today.
Yeah.
Run some 12. Hey, I would love for Jackson State to add some 12 personnel. I know they got it. Run some of that 12 personnel. They got 3 to 4 tight ends who can cause problems and can chip off blocks. That gives you more time to throw.
Mm-hmm.
More time to throw. I'm telling you, if Jackson State ran 12 personnel, Shadua is chilling. Because, he's a pocket passer.
Yep.
Defenses would know what they're like. Wait a minute, they're running this. I thought they ran an air raid.
Yep.
I'm telling you right there, instant offense. And all you would do is make and dunk teams to death. And they'll be so tired. They'll be on the field all day. Because they can't stop the RPO. Yeah, add that RPO. Man, When I look at Jackson State, I see so much potential, man. Top to bottom.
Yeah,
Yogi said, "Let them big tight ends score too."
straight up. What's wrong with that? Like again, you said against Fam, that was the strategy early. Like, and it looked good. Looked smart.
Clarence says Shadini's throw the ball away. Hey, throwing the ball away is not a problem at all.
Yep.
It's not a problem at all because you got a great defense. You could do the smart play. That's Jackson State's one of the few teams in the country, not just FCS, not just SWAC or HBCU. The whole FCS, they're one of the few teams where the defense is so tenacious that you don't have to be a hero all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I compared, Shadir got a little Jacoby Brissett in them.
Yep.
Yeah, for those who don't know, when Jacoby Brissett played in college, it wasn't like he had 4,000 yards or something. Why was he drafted? You know why he was drafted. He was efficient. And he was a true pocket passer. And he only ran when he needed to.
Mm-hmm.
Like Yogi said, Shadir is slow fast. That's what Jacoby Brissett, the same thing. Jacoby Brissett gets a bag. Sometimes he starts, sometimes he doesn't in the NFL, but he gets a bag. You can make money in the end. See, that's a great comparison. See, Dill Pickle says, good comparison. Yep.
That was his first comparison, like when he first came out. And some people, like when I first started making videos on Shadua, they was like, "Oh no, he better than Jacoby Brissett." I'm like, "Do you know what you're talking about right now? We're talking about a bona fide NFL fixture. Like we talking about a 1%er, as we like to call it, a 1%er. You saying that that's not good enough? What are you talking about? Jacoby Brissett will have a job as long as he wants to in the NFL. See, we got a problem comparing everybody to superstars. Everybody don't have superstar ilk. There's a lot of really good players in the mix.
I mean, that anybody in FCS would love to have a comparison to Jacoby Brissett. That means you get to play in the NFL for a long time. And you may start some games and you'll get a bag because you know these quarterbacks are getting paid. Yeah, Aubrey Miller, yeah, that was a sack. Aubrey Miller, man, he stood out.
Yeah, he did his thing.
When you think of Jackson State, when you think like who's like that guy, Aubrey Miller was that guy today.
Mm-hmm.
And NFL coaches, I would be surprised if he's not drafted.
Yep. I said it, DJ, before the game. I was like, James Houston started this linebacker, elite linebacker culture out. So I was like, Aubrey Miller, what you gonna do today? He showed me what he's gonna do. So he get my props today. Absolutely.
Man, I wish I was at homecoming, man. I know Jackson State Jackson, Mississippi is turned up right now, man. I know it's turned up. See, one thing about JSU fans and who you've been knowing the SWAC for years. You played basketball. You know what the deal is. They're going to celebrate. And they're not going to let anyone take their joy. That's why I respect Jackson State fans. FAMU fans, the same way. They don't care if they win by a touchdown or 3 points. They're going to celebrate, and they're not going to let anyone destroy what they got going on, man. Jackson State is on what they're doing right now is historical in HBCU standards media coverage.
Are we talking homecoming or just in general?
In general. No, okay. I was talking about like what Jackson State, what they're doing right now is next level stuff. Only fans who have like their favorite school and have nothing are hating on it right now.
Yeah. Well, you know what though? This is kind of what the big three does in the SWAC. Because it's been cyclical, man. Because when Gramblin's on top, Grambling got that, they ish don't stink. When Southern's on top, they got the ish don't stink. It's been a long time. But Southern got that same thing. Now, Jackson, the other part of the big three, it's their time right now. It is what it is, man. That little hate circle kind of goes. It circles around, circles around, circles around. But I asked you, did you mean in general or homecoming? Because homecoming-wise, Don't no school let them take their joy, man, in HBCU world, man.
Oh no.
You still gonna get it in, regardless.
Yeah, man. And thank God Jackson State did not lose. But if Jackson State would have lost, they still would have been turning up.
Oh yeah. You take that to the bank.
Man, what you think about Campbell's offensive line? I mean, W.M.R. spot on. Number 75, like
Oh yeah.
6'8", 350. Man,
Lord,
and I'm laughing looking at you. Look at him, social media, just like, are you not watching how talented this team is?
no, it's a talented team. And yeah, 75 definitely stood out. That dude was huge, man. If basketball don't work out, football don't work out, the WWE could be a possibility, man. Because that dude is, he looks like a man amongst boys, man. But that goes to show you how good that JSU defensive front is, because they still was getting a lot of pressure early and often. So much respect to the boys up front.
Bree Fresh said the first possession, Campbell went for it, and their own 40 didn't have no respect. I was like, for real, for real.
I think they did have respect, actually. I think they did because they knew they had to try to score early.
Yeah, I think that's respect too.
Yeah, I think it was respectful.
Because they're like, man, we don't score, man. We ain't.
Yeah.
That was just being guts. Man, yeah, I wish Mike Mentor, bro, I wish Mike Mentor was coaching the SWAC or any HBCU, really, man. But,
yeah,
he got a good thing at Campbell.
Agreed.
And he's building it from the ground up, and you just got to respect it. I saw his interview, and I can't believe some buffoons were just mad at him interviewing with HBCU game day, forgetting that he's black too. I don't care if he coaches a PWI or not. He's a brother just like us. So I was disappointed hearing people mad because Mentor was just showing love to HBCUs. You want brothers who are coaching PWIs to show love to HBCUs, to be an olive branch, to help out, and to be a beacon of light. This is what you want. And shout out to my brother, HBCU Overdriver, Doc Holiday. Subscribe to his channel. Good brother right there, Texas native. Y'all already know what it is.
Yes, sir. Good dude. What are they mad about exactly, DJ?
What are you talking about? Oh, yeah.
Mad about the coach.
Yeah. So,
and I'll be back in a second.
Yeah. So Mike Mentor did an interview with HBCU Game Day. And some people were saying, why can't you just interview this coach at this school, this HBCU school? It's not a problem at all, because if you're a brother showing light to HBCUs, you want more of that. I don't give a damn if they at a FBS PWI or not, or FCS PWI, or it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Mike Mentor earned everything he has gotten in life. Success, all levels, college, NFL. And if he speaks up for HBCUs, you need more of that. So shout out to Coach Mentor. He's got a great team. And I can't wait to see what Campbell does at the end of the season. I'm intrigued by that team. I really am, man. Let me see. Just drop the link in the comment section. If you have any questions or you want to talk about the game, here's a link. Hit the like button, share this video throughout all social media platforms. Yeah, Mentor said this is the first time playing to 60,000 black folks. You can see the joy, man. Even with this loss, you've seen just Mentor just be proud and happy. Usually you don't see that in losses. He looked like he was proud to coach this game against Jackson State. And I thank him for that. Clarence Kitty says, thank you for the respect of Coach Mentor. Yeah, I could tell you're a real one, man. I see why he recruits the way he does, man. Oh yeah, they played North Carolina A&T next. North Carolina A&T. I don't know if y'all notice this right now. They've been on a roll. I've been checking them out. North Carolina A&T have been in a roll. That should be an interesting game. Yeah, Campbell was no slouch. Chris Salas. They looked the part. I got HBCU Overdrive with Doc Holliday in the building. What's good, brother?
Man, what's going on, man? Whew.
Good
I'm
man.
in.
Good
I'm
man.
I'm
Man, how
out
about
in Pearl.
shoot? Man, you see that JSU? I know you saw that JSU defense, man.
Look, with live and in effect, like the defense was hitting hard. Aubrey was on a whole nother level tonight. Uh, Shiloh came in, put the hit stick on somebody. Uh, it. I talked to some people. I'm getting some food over at McAllister's. I'm in here in Pearl,
Oh yeah,
and I was
shout out
talking.
Pearl.
And I was talking to some people from Campbell, and I was like, man, look, it was a boxing match. First quarter was a boxing match. Everybody they try to feel out of each other. Boxing match. Second, like, my only issue is, um, understandably so, I like JD Martin, like him a lot, but he has fumbleitis. Should have, I mean, and should have kept Savion in the game more because the way he was running, he was gonna end up with 200 yards tonight. The way he was running, he was gonna have 200 yards by the end of the game.
Bro, like I pointed this out, man. I was like, man, if Savion carried the ball for 40 plus times, you wouldn't hear a complaint from me. I
Oh,
mean,
and the way that Campbell was playing defense, like they was playing, they was going blow for blow, like they weren't trying to give up anything on the pass. And of course, you were trying to do, Jack, we doing inside runs, but we should have bounced that outside. Like the inside they were clogging everything on the inside as far as following everything on the defense. And it should have hit the out. Once they did the adjustment, hit the outside, boom, he gone. Like he should have been in there more. I think he should have had about 40. On the real, he should have had about 40 carries.
yeah, he should have, man. They couldn't stop him.
Mm-mm.
Savion Wilkinson. I'm not um over exaggerating either. Savion Wilkinson was, if you talk about a brother that was unstoppable for that JSU offense, he was the one guy that was unstoppable. They cannot
Mm-hmm.
stop that. He, you know who he reminds me of? His running style. He reminds me of Maurice Jones-Drew.
MJD.
Yeah, that's who he reminds me of. Maurice Jones-Drew. He's got the power, the sneaky power, but he don't let him have space because he could take it to the house.
Yeah, I think he remind me more. To me, he really reminds me more.
Ray Rice.
I can say Ray Rice, but really like a Thurman Thomas from back in the day.
Oh man, that's legendary status. I wanted to be realistic, man. A shout out to Thurman Thomas, man. He from Missouri
Minus
City.
minus a little shiftiness, but he kind of reminds me of Thurman Thomas getting the ball out of the backfield. Like that's who he reminds me of.
Hey, this is Travis was sick with QB overthrow. Hey man, that was one of the few times that if still like would have like a little light touch on that throw, I think Travis would have one handed that. That would have been ESP.
Yeah,
That would have been
yeah.
ESP. But at the end of the day, at the red zone, keep it simplistic. Use them damn tight ends. I mean, they're freaking nature 6'5" and up, running 4.6, 4.5s. Man, run that 12 personnel and watch how this offense goes in the red zone. I
Now
guarantee.
I like how when we got the ball on offense to start out the game, that Prime went to Travis to get his legs under him and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
I like that
like
too.
that. To me, that's just to give you your preview, like he coming, he here. And then when he was on defense, because he did play both ways today, he was on defense. He got tested. I think like 2 or 3 times. Nobody didn't catch nothing on him. That speaks volumes right there. My whole thing is I want to see what he does when they play against Southern next week.
Yeah, man. Southern. I know I talked about, and this is nothing against Southern. From what I've seen, there's not too many teams that can mess with Campbell. But I will say this about Southern: they are talented, and when they play their game, they're really good. They just got to be more consistent. But it's a rivalry game, and you know how rivalry games are. You just show up.
Yeah.
All Jackson State needs to do against Southern is you gotta do some soul searching. Look in the mirror. You have a defense.
Yeah.
You don't have to do crazy plays or these trickeration. I mean, when you got a back like Savion Wilkinson, all
Yeah.
you need is a couple tight ends, and like someone said, some toss routes, counter runs, and watch how that. I mean, the defense is so entertaining, so fun, so efficient that I don't care what the Jackson State offense runs. To be honest,
Feeling
as
me. If I'm Barcelona, yes, and I understand he does the air raid, but I would have took some notes from that Campbell offense with that RPO, with that
oh, I
run
love that
run heavy
RPO.
RPO. Man, that running back for Campbell, oh my God, that dude,
Wait, is
he
he a
had to be about
freshman
good. I
or a
don't know if he was a
sophomore?
first. I think he's a sophomore. He had to be about at least 215, 220.
Right.
Ain't no way he's 205, bro. He looked like he looked like a a I would say a younger version of Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, Clarence,
Like
I do agree. Southern is not as good as Campbell, but it will be a rivalry game. I even I even mentioned that shoot that there's no HBCU team that can even hang with. I mean, I got to be honest. North Carolina A&T has improved. They're playing a lot better.
yep.
They're playing a lot better. I want y'all to be. I want y'all to listen to this. They're playing a lot better, and maybe that game could be close. I wouldn't be surprised. But that's about it.
My for Campbell, they playing A&T next week. For their homecoming, aka G Ho.
Yeah.
Uh, quarterback is playing much better. Uh, Fowler is playing much better since they made the actual change to him. And Tutton, the running back, that's the one that you got. That's a dude you got to stop right
That's a
there
bad boy
because
right there. Tutton
he's a
is
bad boy.
man.
You you think you just have to take a playbook. You just have to look and kind of mimic what teams have done to Campbell when they played him and when the guys that Campbell lost. But like I said, you played when they played against William and Mary. William and Mary gave them hell. Like they funneled everything in on the inside and they dared them to throw on them. Because I think he ended up with 3. I think they ended up with like 2 picks on that game. 2 or 3 picks for that game. The East Carolina game, man, I don't know. They started off slow, and today they um They got the first. They got the score, the touchdown.
You know what? I watched some of that film when Campbell played against William and Mary when they lost 38-21. If they would have played William and Mary right now, I think it would be a closer game because um, Campbell looks just more comfortable. Again, they have a lot of young players. The quarterback is a veteran, the tight end is a veteran, but everybody else is just young. You know what I mean? So sometimes it takes teams a while to get a grasp of the offense and defense and get acclimated. But uh, it Campbell, they look like one of those teams. They have the talent to compete and beat with anybody, in my opinion.
Yeah.
From size, strength, speed, they look the part. It's all about again the young players gelling. That's why I'm not going to let anyone try to discredit. Uh, Clarence says, "No way have you seen William and Mary." Actually, they played William and Mary. I watched that game. I have ESPN Plus. I watched that game, brother. Uh, William and Mary had a veteran team that knew what they were doing,
They
like
knew what they
most
were doing.
FCS teams who are perennial playoff teams. And William and Mary beat the FC. They beat Charlotte, didn't they?
Yeah, they beat Charlotte.
Right.
They
So
beat Charlotte early in the season.
from what I've seen, was a team that had a bunch of veterans that knew what they were doing. That's all it was. It wasn't because Campbell did not lose to William and Mary because of talent. I can assure you that.
Yeah, man. Look. I'm looking at your comments, like be fresh. Yeah, look, we had Snoop, we had Rick Ross, Yellow Beezy from Dallas came through, Chester P Valley, coming through, showing love and everything. I like that. I like that. We need more of that. Need more of that.
Yeah, they do, man. Shout out to all the celebs that showed out, showed support. Uh, expect more of that, and that's the perks of when you have a celebrity coach like Coach Brown. Not just any celebrity coach, a coach that's just popular with the culture. All the stars going on the line. But man, again, I'm not gonna let people act like Campbell is not that team. Like W. Morris, number 0, he's really
Oh yeah,
good.
he was a dog.
Malik Rozier, that 4-star safety DB, he ain't no. I mean, he's the real deal, man. I mean, receivers, running backs, they have the. Again, you can tell when someone watches film of a team and somebody just looking at the record. If you look at Campbell's record and you see they have 3 losses, one to Jackson, one to William and Mary, and one to Duke, they'll say, "Oh, they're not all that." But again, Jackson State, Duke, no, not Duke, Jackson State, East Carolina, and William and Mary. Those teams are no slouches. But I bet you if Campbell would have scheduled uh, a D2 team here and there and 2 cupcake teams, they would have been undefeated. So they're battle tested. That's what I saw from Campbell. A team that plays a good schedule, they're battle tested, and they're a lot better. And if they beat North Carolina A&T, they have a great chance of winning out the remainder of the regular season schedule. Let me see. Clarence, because Campbell is going to be better next year with the number 1 2022 class and a big start at 2023. Shout out to Dazzling Urbanite. He said Campbell played well on defense, but JSU was balanced on offense, defense, special teams. The game was gritty, competitive entertainment. Hey, I would never apologize for good competition. That is true, Mark. My Mark 1000. Campbell would have beaten every single SWAC team, every one of them, bar none. Be Fresh says Campbell ain't no joke. Nah, Jackson State ain't no joke. We just need to get red zone offense together. Really, the only weakness Jackson State has is red zone. They get that fixed, and it's an easy solution. Uh, they're gonna really destroy teams.
Yep, they got to fix the red zone. Um, Especially you can't throw it like that. You got to shorten it up. Like
Mm-hmm.
you gotta get you. Even if you don't got a fullback, get you take you a tight end, use him as an H back, and
Talk to
and and do and do running. You know what I'm saying? Get your power running plays. Yeah. Especially if you got somebody like Simeon like that in the red zone, it's easy for him to score a touchdown.
again, an H back tight end, use two tight ends. They can even use three tight ends.
And he used three
Jackson
tight
State
ends.
got Jackson State got a tight end rotation. Each of them have a special skill set. You could literally throw teams off doing that. And the key to offense in the red zone, you have to be unpredictable. Meaning the plays you call, you got to throw the defense off. So if a defense thinks you're going to pass it and throw fades on the red zone, how about you do more short routes, power run plays with the running back, RPOs? The potential is endless. We saw that against FAMU. And I still believe that FAMU game, that was the best offensive execution Jackson State had since Coach Prime was the coach. It was that smooth. B Fresh says, I'm a big fan of Wilkerson. Bro is a dog. Yeah. Peace and blessings to the brother Israel Carey, man. JSU in the building. I know y'all celebrate, man. I know y'all celebrate, man. I love it. Shout out to all the Jackson State fans. Shout out to all this win right here is not only a win for Jackson State, but a win for HBCUs. And I like Campbell. I respect Campbell, but the significance of beating a team that can win their conference. That's a huge significance. And like Mark Thousand pointed out, I think both teams highly respected one another. This is like Ali Frazier, man. You need competitions like this. Man, Campbell gave Jackson State all they got. And that's all you can ask for. This is going to make Jackson State better. Yeah, Aubrey Miller was, I mean, when you think about Jackson State this year, you think about Aubrey Miller. I'm dead serious. Aubrey Miller, if you think about the 2022 Jackson State team, you think about number 45. He epitomizes everything right about JSU: the culture, the discipline, the toughness. Um, he's the reason why when I watch Jackson State's defense, I'm chilling. I'm chilling because I know he's going to make plays. And I gotta give a shout out to South Carolina State, man. I know we have jokes here and there, but they're a winning program, man. And that win they got against North Carolina Central, that was a big time win. Congratulations to South Carolina State. They battle tested. I hate it for North Carolina Central because I like what they were building. Big fan of their quarterback, Davis Richards. Uh, Now, North Carolina Central, what you got to do, you got to win out and hope that South Carolina State loses another MEAC game. But the way South Carolina State is, once they're on the road, they get on that roll. And no matter what they did in non-conference or anything else, I got to give South Carolina State props on that, man. But the MEAC is like you said, Sonic Boom. The MEAC is all over the place. I mean, shoot. If South Carolina State loses a game, and you can have Delaware State winning it, It's very unpredictable right now. Darnell says Jackson State can win the Celebration Bowl this year. I'm betting on it. I think they'll be, as long as Jackson State is focused in the Celebration Bowl, then yeah, they have a great chance of winning. That was their only problem last year. Yeah, Imperial Nubia, South Carolina State defeated North Carolina Central. I don't know who can beat Jackson State going forward, unless Jackson State just overlooks their opponents, and I don't see that happening, especially on defense. Yeah, be fresh. John Huggins is a monster. He ain't a dog. He's a monster, man. He's another player that I just see NFL talent watching this game, man. Shout out to the sister. She loves thee with the extra e on the end. She said, "Thee I love. Rep your school. Y'all gotta rep y'all school, man. Y'all just beat Campbell, a team that, again, I'm gonna repeat it again because it was said all off season. Oh, maybe Jackson State could lose this game. We all heard it. I'm telling you, I'm not letting no buffoon try to take away this victory from him. Hell no. Jackson State did what they had to do. They won the game. They won the game on national television against a Campbell team who could beat anybody in this conference. And that's the truth. Imperial Nubia says Jackson State lost 2 offensive linemen to the portal 2 days before the Celebration Bowl. Yeah, I remember that. Dazzling Urban Knight says, I like that Coach Prime isn't allowing the players to get complacent. The entire coaching staff is keeping the squad focused on the Celebration Bowl. The undefeated if Jackson State handles business, if they're undefeated, there's a 50% chance they could be the only undefeated team left. Now, they got to make sure them Ivy League schools beat up on each other. And Sacramento State, who has a good team right now, I don't think Sacramento State's gonna lose another regular season game. I could be wrong. I just don't see it. Maybe in the playoffs they could stumble. Peace to you as well, Miss Livitude. She said, "Go Tigers! Just you did a damn thing today. Darn thing that is. Thanks to be God. Kudos to Jackson State." My Mark 1000 said this may single-handedly be the start of a recruiting war between two teams. Hey, man, I would love to see it, man. I would love to see Jackson State play Campbell every year. I would make it into a rivalry, a new rivalry. Yeah, I saw that be fresh. Mike Mentor did try to play bully ball, but he kind of accomplished time of possession. I mean, shoot, he kept the score respectable. Got to give him credit for that. She loves Z says Camels had a good defense. Their offense didn't stand a chance, especially after we made adjustments. They kept trying to run offense, but their own line was no match for us. It's a pick your poison with the Jackson State defense. This Jackson State defense is so dangerous. You can't afford to make an error. You make an error against the Jackson State defense, it's going to be a long day. Yeah, I respect Coach Mentor, man. I remember listening to that interview on HBCU game day, and I'm not even an athlete. I'm a 30-year-old brother that got a day job. And I was thinking, like, man, if I was an athlete playing right now, I would definitely commit to 2 schools Jackson State or Campbell, man. If this was 18-year-old me, I would definitely commit to one of those two schools. Man, them Campbell players look like they had a great time. I'm happy for those brothers, man. The HBCU experience is one of a kind. Not too many people have that. Alan Darby says, Raw Truth Media, I feel good to support my cousin's school, JSU. I bet you all the haters are crying in their cars. No, the haters, nobody really worried about the haters right now. I think everybody's just laughing at the haters because they hate that they depend on Jackson State. No matter what, they depend on Jackson State. So if they hate on Jackson State, they need to talk about Jackson State to to get attention. So whether you like Jackson State or not, you still need Jackson State. That's why it's so funny. Now it's so bad right now. These fools are just making every excuse in the book. That's just like when people say, "Oh, Jackson State's schedule's not great," but their favorite schools are in the same conference as Jackson State. Man, I wish I was in Jackson right now, man. Man, I know y'all having a good time out there. Clarence says, "Don't be surprised if some Campbell players transfer to JSU." Uh, I, Campbell got a really good thing going on. I'm not gonna take anything away from him. Campbell plays North Carolina and A&T next week for their homecoming. It's gonna be interesting. The dazzling Urbanite says the haters and distractors are running out of talking points. What's the next thing they're gonna say, bro? They're gonna say Mike Minter ain't a good coach. You know that's a lie. Well, again, Campbell has a great quarterback. Campbell has a great coaching staff. Campbell has a legit defense. Brevin Allen, the defensive end y'all saw today causing havoc, he's an NFL draft prospect. 6'4", 270, could play D tackle, D end, beast. What's the next excuse? Oh, they're going to say South Carolina State's going to be Jackson State again? And again, shout out to South Carolina State on the win. This is nothing against y'all. I'm just talking about the buffoons out there. Clarence McKinney says, "Why do people hate Jackson State?" I mentioned this most videos. There's a couple of sicknesses that we suffer in our community. One is self-hate. The next is crabs and barrel mentality. When one is jealous of other success, that turns into hatred and despise. They despise Jackson State. They see Jackson State fans celebrating for winning, and they were dealing with losing for so many years. And all of a sudden, they're mad because Jackson State has a great thing going for them.
Hey, DJ, I'm back.
What's good? Warm Take Walters back.
Warm Take Walters. Hey, I'm going to say this because I see you cooking on the Jackson State hate. Let me say this real quick. Now, pre-Deion Sanders, I'm gonna keep it a bean. Jackson State fans, y'all ain't the most pleasant people to be around because y'all Southern Grambling fans, you know how the Blue Bloods go. Y'all ain't the most pleasant, but I will say now that Coach Prime's here, you getting people who just want to see this great thing fail just off GP, not just because Jackson fans can be Jackson fans. They want to just see something great fail, and it's kind of indicative of how our community can be at times, and it's unfortunate, man.
Yeah, it's. I just treat it as laughter, man. The Jackson State fans I've talked to, bro, like they excited, man. It's you know when you talk about something that brings you joy for your day, that's what it's like speaking with Jackson State fans. Despite all the adversity, within their life or a situation or the city, they come to football to get through their day. I mean, they love this team. I can't take that away. They love this team.
I feel that, DJ. My thing is, I feel like Dre, man. I've been in this game for 10 years making rap tunes.
Right.
Yeah. So I seen Jackson fans be clowning. So I know you're kind of newer to the experience, and dog, that's why I love the SWAC. The SWAC is so unique. It's funny, dog. Every fan base has their own little personality, but they all here for the same reason. We all love the HBCU experience. So I've just seen Jackson fans get a little crazy. So it's just funny to see this new era.
Jargon, man. Remember I told you when I was a kid, for those who don't know, my father is an alum of PV. So when PV was losing, this is before I was even into sports, right? You know, when you're a little kid and stuff, in the late 90s, PV was so bad. They had
oh man.
I mean, they was giving out tickets at the I think it was like Burger King or something. You get free tickets or something like that. But I'm not lying, man. We talked about the two. It was that bad. And Jackson State came through there. This is when they had that little red stripe on their helmet. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. And man, I remember I was just in awe of how much of the fan support.
Yeah.
You see PV side, no one's there.
Agreed.
Again, this is the time when it was losing.
Agreed.
And JSU filled the whole side of the visitor side, man. It was amazing, man.
Hey, no, somebody in the chat said PV had 4 years. No, it was 10 years.
Yeah, it was
10
bad.
years. We call that the what they call it, the death. I forgot what they call it.
Then they get in trouble for something, right? Like
yeah. So we had compliance issues. So we literally didn't have scholarships for a decade. So the basketball team and the football team were like ESPN had like 30 for 30, the worst teams ever. Both teams made it, the basketball and the football team. Death sentence, what they called it, death sentence. So when we won our SWAC, it was crazy.
Hey, Hoop, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
I think it was the death penalty.
Yeah, the death penalty. So when we won in 2009 with that middle school field, man, like tears, bro. Tears. It just was no way because, yeah, we were horrible for 10 years. No win in 10 years.
Man, it was like 99 or something, man. I was like, I'd say 7 years old.
Yeah.
I was thinking like, man, why is no one here? I remember it was like it was yesterday, man. I was so happy. Hey, we get to go to a football game. Man, of course we get. I was so happy. I was like, yeah, we get to go to a football game. And ain't nobody there on the home side.
Yeah. Bro, I'm a third-generation Prairie View graduate. So it was always, put in me. I didn't go to Prairie View straight off the rip, but once I got there, I just lamented back as a teenager going to Texas Southern Prairie View for Labor Day Classic. Oh, man, we got dusted off every time. It was never a game. It was never a game, man. And I always was like, man, I'll never go to PV. I ended up going to PV. So it's just funny, like, how bad the program was because even with somebody who didn't even consider going to HBCU at the time, I knew I wasn't going to PV. I don't know what else was out there. I knew I was not going to PV because we were that bad.
Man, shout out to PV, man. They got I know Lamar haven't won a game, but non-conference.
Not my problem.
Right. A shout out to PV. They 4-3 now. They only lost one game against Southern. They won against Lamar 54-21. And I've seen SWAC teams lose to horrible non-conference FCS teams. So any FCS win, you could get a non-conference. I'm giving you respect.
Facts, DJ. Bro, I'll put it this way. When I played ball at PV, our coach used to be like, here's what everybody says about y'all. Fresh P, and you know what I mean by P, out there in Prairie View. That's how everybody saw Prairie View. No matter how bad your season was going, you knew you go to Prairie View, get a dub. So, I ain't trying to hear that. We went to Lamar and won on their campus. Hey, I'm taking that dub. Thank you.
Exactly. PV got potential, man. Coach Bowman McDowell, I'm rooting for him.
Absolutely.
PV got the facilities. I mean, they're close to H-Town,
Absolutely.
very close to H-Town, and there's growth potential. Just like Alabama State. I know a lot of people mad at Alabama State, but to give some credit to Alabama State for their first year, they have actually exceeded expectations. I've seen people say that Alabama State, this is before the season, by the way, they didn't even think they were going to win 2 SWAC games.
Hey. And then they lost Coach Sewell, so it looked bad for their program.
Uh-huh.
So hey, I give Bama State a lot of props for how they turned that around. Absolutely.
Shout out to Deputy Mario. He said it was a beautiful crowd out there at the game. I think it was 4,000 plus or better. I've seen something to say 4,700 folks. Come on, Blindside. Blindside said PV Juice. I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm not mad at them because that's how people usually view Prairie View. So when Prairie View alum be getting crazy, I'm like, look, no. Nobody respects us like that until we keep on winning. So, I mean, I ain't mad at him for that, but that's just not true. But I'm not mad at him because we've been a bottom feeder for so long, bro.
Again, most of the people that are now with SWAC, HBCU, mostly because of Coach Prime, it's bringing a resurgence. I remember just growing up around it. You know what I mean? The trash talking. So even I saw people at Jackson State talk trash. I mean, they told me when I was at the little store, some people watch my show and they say, "Oh, I know you are." They were like, "I see you have some JSU gear, just don't get Southern gear." They cannot stand Southern. Like, it's real beef with those two schools, man. But
yeah, facts.
At the end of the day, it's still HBCU love. But again, I never complain about rivalries. Y'all heard me say this a million times. I have nothing against rivalries, talking shit. This is what football's all about. My only thing is when it's time for unification, when it's time to wanting the best for HBCUs, is it too hard to ask to come together? That's all I'm saying. You don't have to like the school. But man, I saw so much just buffoonery. And now after this game, the same team that they were rooting for, Campbell, now they're trying to say that, they're not really all that. Really?
I mean, that's how I go, bro. Like, even in the Greek world, I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. The Greeks beef. I mean, it's just the kind of a thing ingrained in our culture. And the brother capsulized it best when he said that this is something in our culture we got to break. Because, I mean, it's kind of like intertribalism amongst the tribe, which is kind of funny to kind of step back and look at. But that's just something we do because a lot of us, we see a lot of greatness within ourselves. And we look at somebody like, I'll give you an example. When people will hate on a guy like Chris Brown, and they'd be like, man, I know somebody who danced better than him from my neighborhood. Because we see a lot of greatness within ourselves, and then it's just kind of hard to extend that love out past your own allegiance. But it's just something we got to work on as a community, man. We do, because you're absolutely right, bro. At the end of the day, man, we all under the same umbrella when we're not competing against each other.
Hey, Israel Care, man, I saw it at Jackson when I went there. He said SU and JSU have a very unhealthy relationship. It's not changing. Man, it's real. I was like, man, this rivalry is like nothing else, bro. I kid you not. You know it, man. It's Southern and Jackson State. This is why I can't for sure say, oh, this game gonna be a blowout. Now, if Jackson State plays to their talent, it could, but Southern, I'm sure their coach is telling them, I don't know what record we're going to have, but we better show up against JSU.
Yeah, I mean, it's Eric Dooley, too. You know his personality. And I'll go a step further. Southern and Jackson is number 2. Southern and Grambling is number 1. It ain't even close. The Bayou Bowl with the Louisiana going at it.
Yeah,
That's the funniest one. That's the funniest one.
It is funny. I ain't gonna lie. Darius Hawkins says, Southern JSU, no love lost. Man, you ain't lying. Big B says, run it down their throat in the end zone. Stop. Hey, that running game look nice, doesn't it?
It look real good.
Hey, Deputy Mario said, shout out to Deputy Mario, man. He's a good brother. He said, Raw, tell your supervisor I said to let you off so you can be at the Southern Jackson State game. Man, I'm gonna make it happen, man. Blind said to the Jackson State hate is at an all-time high. Dion got these coaches stressed. Apply pressure. Man, what the coaches got to focus on worrying about their university, man, and worrying about putting their school on the spotlight. I want to say shout out to Peel for the $5 super chat to help grow the channel out. He says, celebration 2, Jackson State versus South Carolina State, if both teams handle business. K. Lofton says, ESPN has the vet capacity at 44,000. Today's attendance is 45,596. Parts of the stadium must be closed. To be real with y'all, I can't really trust ESPN. It looked like it was more than 45,000.
Yeah, it was some people saying like upwards of 70. I don't know how true that is. I don't know what the capacity is at Memorial Stadium, but you know, it looked like a good crowd to me.
I thought it was more than 45,000. I could be wrong, but it didn't look like no 45,000 stadium game. Peel says definitely 60K. That's what it felt like. Again, I'm watching it off my phone, but still.
It's a good crowd nonetheless.
The website, one man said the JSU website has 51,000. KK says 50K plus.
KK signing building.
Sonic Boom C says it was more people than last year. Man, watching it off my TV, right? It looked so packed that you couldn't even find any seats. So I know it can't be no 45K at a 60K capacity stadium.
Some people are saying the opposite, though. They said people start coming in like after halftime, which is very homecoming-ish of us folk. You know how it go.
Oh, yeah.
You get it in first, then go.
Get that drink in, man.
We know how that go.
My Mark 1000 said it was 62K in the stands.
We're getting all kind of numbers, man. Which one the right one?
Now I don't know when Malachi Wyman's coming back. I don't know. I'm not the coaching staff, but when he does, you know who's gonna be the happiest person?
Oh, that
Shadir Sanders.
Yeah.
Because last year he just threw that sucker up, man. Make it work.
Absolutely.
Hey, man. Whenever that's all I'm saying. When he comes back, all that red zone stuff that's getting fixed.
Was it grades or like what was going on with Malachi?
I don't want to, I ain't trying to be a business, but it's correctable. That's all I would say. It's correctable.
Well, I was saying it to my guys in the stream earlier, man. It's like you never know really what the intricacies are of the program. And I gave my example. When I played against Jackson State, my senior year, we played against Trey Johnson. Trey Johnson was like, he went to NBA. He averaged 31 points a game, number 2 scorer in America. And I missed the shoot around before the game because I was helping my little sister out because she went to Prairie View with me. She was a freshman when I was a senior. And I missed the shoot around, man. And I went. All I know is I went to the jersey during game time. I'm sorry, the locker room. I ain't had no jersey in there, so I had to have street clothes on. And I'm starting center. You know what I mean? And so you never really know the backstories. Everybody kept texting me, "Why you ain't playing? Why you ain't playing? Why you ain't playing?" You never really know.
Man, you ain't lying. Hey, Snoop Dogg, man, he having a good old time.
Yeah, man.
I know Jackson, Mississippi hooking him up with the best quality. That's all I'll say.
Hey.
That southern grass.
Stickiest of the icky.
Yeah. Yeah. I looked at a video. He out there dancing like a mug. I'm like, man.
But you know what, DJ?
Strand, man.
Hey, DJ, but that's kind of what you need to build more attraction to HBCU sports, getting other Black folks more just aware of what's going on. Because I mean, I've been a SWAC person for like 17 plus years. I know this already how entertaining it is, but we gotta get other people who people listen to be like, hey man, it's okay to come support HBCU, especially the West Coast because there's no HBCUs close. The closest one is like Texas Southern University.
Right.
So, you know, it's good to have that so people can understand like it's okay to, you know, attend a school like that because
and I want to answer this because people say we know that Malachi Wyman played, but he didn't play. Like, you know what I mean? He wasn't like there was many games he played, the first 3 games. But I'm talking about him being fully involved. I can't wait to see that happen. When he's the guy, when he's in the starting lineup.
We have the doghouse.
Right. Simply Beautiful says, our love don't need to get a fine from getting involved with foolishness. It was more than that. JSU side was damn near full. Weidman was out there during the red zone flop. He was wide open. Mark 1000 says these numbers are coming from the ticket staff. It was a buzz tailgate, 62K. Now, I believe that. And shout out to KK for the $3 super chat to help grow the channel out. Peace and blessings, my brother. I'm going to go with 62K.
All right.
What you think?
Man, I've seen like 13 numbers. So, I mean, you know, I'm going to go with the biggest one because
yeah. Round it up.
Round it up, baby. The best one. Sound good to me.
Yeah, everyone has to earn their spot. Yeah, that's true.
Agreed.
That's why I'm not complaining about it.
Agreed.
But I'm letting y'all know when he ever gets to fully play in the active starting lineup, it's gonna be trouble. My Bernie Mac voice. You see it, you like, man. when he gets out of that doghouse.
Hey man, ain't nothing like being in the doghouse, man. Minutes restriction, and then you know you got to play your way back in. Sometimes it may not. It may be a virtue. You're not going hard in practice enough.
K Loftus said no way it was 62K. You sure about that, brother?
All over the place, see, man.
I don't know.
Hey, ask them what they basing this number off of, DJ. I don't get it.
Hey, what are y'all basing these numbers off? Are you doing off? Now, I'm going to go with 62K because one of the brothers was mentioning he's going off what the people that was in charge of tickets reported. And they're usually efficient with it.
Okay. All right. See, now it's up to 63K. I don't know which one it was, man.
K Lofton said tickets sold.
You sure?
King says 63K. Just kidding. Now y'all just throwing numbers out there.
That's what I'm saying, man. What we going off of?
Would I be surprised if it was 45, 47 sold? but an extra 15,000.
Hey, it's always room for that line thinking.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Hey, we got enough people here, so hey, bring them on.
Hey, I'll be lying. Say I ain't snuck into a game or two in my life.
Hey, you know one thing about our people, man, we're gonna find a way.
Hook or by crook.
Yeah, we're gonna find a way, man. But man, this was a great stream, man. Hoop, I'm glad you joined the stream. Make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Appreciate it.
Jackson State, celebrate, have fun.
Yep.
Turn up, be responsible. We don't need nobody in the late night news. But enjoy this. It's homecoming.
Yep.
Jackson State, kudos to y'all for showing up. Again, I may talk about offense needs to be efficient here and there, but the effort was there. I don't think effort was a problem. You just gotta fix some things. Mm-hmm. But as long as you got a great defense, what they have right now, you're in good position to win a lot of games. Any last words, Hoop, before we roll?
No, I thought the same. I thought the most impressive thing to me was Jackson State's defensive line. I thought they kept pressure early and often. They made that quarterback brother, Haji Williams, I believe his name is. They made him work because I think against an average team, he would have tore him up. Jackson made him work. Travis did his thing, and it just was a good thing to watch. And Shadura, work on that red zone, but everything else was good, man. That run game, Jackson is stout. So I'm just looking forward to see what they're gonna do next, man, and go Prairie View A&M Panthers. Great win today.
Yes, think that one. Shout out to PV, man.
Yes, sir. Every time.
The home team, man. The home and shout out to Texas Southern.
No fees or minimums and no overdraft fees are another reason banking with Capital One isn't even easy.
Okay. ESPN ads. But Alcorn State lost to Texas Southern, brother.
Yeah, that's rough.
Man, I don't think they're 2-2 in the SWAC.
Yeah, Prairie View got to drop another one, and Southern got to drop another one for them to be back in that discussion.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
The only team I can see be PV. Let me see their next games, man.
Yeah, check it out. I know homecoming's next week, man. I'm going to try my best to get down there, man, because I live in Cali now, man, so everybody, man, you got to come, man, you got to come. Like, hey, man, see what these tickets hitting for, though.
So, Prairie View A&M has Bethune. They should win that one. Alcorn is their toughest matchup, but they match up well. Both defensive, physical teams. Mm-hmm. Alabama, Arkansas Pine Bluff, they should win. Easy. Mississippi Valley State.
Easy.
First stumped them. They should win these next 4 games. Even Alcorn State is not a slouch, but again, it's a good matchup.
They lost TSU.
Yeah, they lost to TSU.
We need some breaks off TSU and didn't throw the ball. So I mean,
if you look back at a PV schedule, if they didn't have that off game against Southern, they just played bad in that game.
The off half. It was a bad half.
Man, if they would have stuck to the script in the first half, they could have won that game. I'm not trying to say it just to say it. It was a weird game.
Very weird game. It's a run out late, and it looked like a blowout, but I mean, I guess it is a blowout, but they lost it late. I'm like, what the heck is going on? All the turnovers, and then, Dumas had it, well, actually it wasn't Dumas. It was number 92 that was, man, he was having a field day, man, getting to our quarterback and what have you, man. So, kudos to Southern, man. They came into a hostile environment. Well, kind of, PV, yeah. We ain't the most hostile place in the SWAC, but they came in and handled their business, man. So, respect to them.
All right. This is RawTruth Media giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. Y'all stay blessed, stay safe out there. Positive energy and synergy. And I'm out.